5-time Ballon d'Or winner, 5-time Champions League winner, 7 league titles across Europe, the most clutch player in football, having scored 207 match winning goals, the all time goal scorer for club and country with 807 goals and counting. Dare I say, he is one of the greatest footballers to have ever graced the field. After all this, he decided to go back home, where it all started, in Manchester. But not the one you're thinking of. I mean, the noisy neighbours. Was he pulling off a figure on the Old Trafford faithful? Well, maybe. It took convincing for him to give the faithful the most romantic, nostalgic return. But something still lingers in my mind. That word, convincing.
What's up? It's Bobby, and yeah, let's talk about Cristiano Ronaldo. So it took the players, obviously the former players from likes of Rio, Evra, and Sir Alex Ferguson to convince Cristiano Ronaldo to come to Old Trafford again and play, instead of going to obviously Manchester City. And that's where, for me personally, it's trying to convince him to come and play where the whole entire issue with me started. Like, why would you have to convince him to come back to play for Man United in the first place? I mean, it should be just an easy one. Well, it was easy. He then decided to come and play for United, obviously. But it was that part of convincing him to, hey, look, you don't want the repercussions of your former teammates like Figo, what happened to him with Barcelona going to Real Madrid. And yeah, it's just that factor for me personally that kind of makes me feel like, come on, Ronnie, don't go to City. So yeah, it's the convincing part. So yeah. So Ronaldo playing in the yet to convince Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tricky Reds was kind of a bit crazy for me because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had led that United side to second place in the 2021 season. They were the first ever team to, they had the best away record in the Premier League. They didn't get beaten at home at all. And you start thinking that this team was actually quite good, but then it was trying to fit him in where it all started to crack. I never said Ronaldo was the problem at United, but I think the problem of United was trying to take this player that you don't need and trying to fit him in a team that's already doing well with what they have. United needed a central defensive midfielder, like Rice. They did not get that. They instead went for a striker who they already were showing that they were not liking goals, but they went for a striker that who's not out of his peak. Seems like he never gets out of his peak, but a somewhat nostalgic, romantic signing for Ronaldo, and that's where for me I felt like the struggle. And because of that, Ole eventually got sacked on the 22nd of November. Because of that, you sacrifice yourself by buying a player that you actually didn't need. And I feel like obviously my favorite match when he played was the obviously against Tottenham, where they played Cavani and Ronaldo up front. I think it was a 2-5-3 formation, if I'm not wrong. It was when I actually enjoyed the partnership of Ronaldo and Cavani, just them linking up together, and him obviously scoring that banger goal from that pass from Bruno. It was a banger. I'm not gonna lie, that goal was just mint. So for me, it was that whole entire thing, trying to get like him to work in that system, and them obviously having a hole in the midfield. They couldn't pass the ball from a certain phase to the next phase, and they needed that midfielder, but they went for Ronaldo instead. So it's quite sad that Ole obviously had to go, but if you buy something that you necessarily don't need, you will be victimized from that thing, which was Ronaldo, in other terms. Mr. Champions League, Ronaldo convincing Champions League nights, it's Ronaldo. Like he does it again and again and again and again and again. Ronaldo loves the Champions League, and he plays his best football when he's in the Champions League. Playing 7 matches and scoring 6 goals just is an understatement of how clutch all those goals were, especially the ones against Villarreal. That performance was mad. I'm not gonna lie. The one from Atlanta was mad. And obviously that comeback against Atlanta was also mad. I mean, every single match that they played in the Champions League was literally, can it not be this box office? Can we just have secure wins, but then they're also thrilling because you never know how it's going to end because you literally have Mr. Clutch himself, Ronaldo. I mean, scoring 207 match winning goals, that's not just for no reason. He does that at the best times and he just scores amazing goals, Cristiano Ronaldo. So, yeah, so the nights in the Champions League were the most convincing for me personally of any other convincing topic I'm going to talk about because they were just purely no vibes. They were just clutch. Like, that's Ronaldo. That's why you signed Cristiano Ronaldo to be clutch. The most convincing player in Man United in the 21-22 season. So, Ronaldo, as it was, he scored. Ronaldo had 27 goals and assists during the whole entire campaign. And what can I say? Being the third in the league when it came to being like with the goals that he scored. He had 18 goals, and Mohamed Salah and Son Heung-min Son literally splattered it by scoring 23 each. And you have to remember that Mohamed Salah and Heung-min Son are in their peak careers. They're at their ages that they're at their absolute best. Cristiano Ronaldo is 37 years and he is playing in a team that's not really offering him like all the goals, but he's still scoring goals. And when you look at his XG, he's absolutely outperforming it. He literally had an XG of 17.21 and he scored literally 18 goals. That's outperforming your expected goal ratio, and that just shows you how good he was, Ronaldo, in the competition. He was literally one of the reasons why United got through other matches, and the hat tricks were sublime, especially the one against Norwich. I mean, he scored a free kick. I mean, the only free kick. Was it the only one, or he scored another one? I can't remember. But it's Ronaldo. He scored a free kick. So, yeah. So he didn't have clearly a lot of shots and he didn't have enough chances that were being made for him. And we also need to consider that he's not the same player he was. He's pretty much young. He's pretty much old at this point and he's not gonna create he's not going to he's not gonna press or do a lot of those things that he did when he was young. But then it is what it is. You have to expect that when you're getting a 37-year-old striker. I mean, it is Cristiano Ronaldo, but you need to also remember and factor around that he's not the same player he was years ago. So did he convince me? Well, it's yes and no, really, for me. Now, I did tell my friends I don't think Cristiano Ronaldo fitted in that United squad in the first place. I felt like we should have gotten him. We United should have went and gotten a midfielder, a destroyer, midfielder that can progress the ball further and get that ball into players that are more creative and allow things to happen and protect the defenders. They didn't do that. They went for Cristiano because of nostalgia. I don't think it was nostalgia really, but for sales for the shirts and stuff. The Glazers are just after people at this point. But they went for a striker that they didn't really need. Now, yes, Cavani is made of glass and he's not going to play the whole entire season, which I get. But Marcus Rashford, Martial would still have done the business for me, I felt. Now, having a player that if you combine literally your top five and they just literally outscore him with 3 or 4 goals is very bad on a team that's trying to compete. you're supposed to spread the goals around the entire squad, and that was not the case. Bruno Fernandes literally had 10 goals, and that's the second. After Bruno Fernandes, the next player had 5, and that player is not even playing for your team anymore because he got suspended. That tells you a lot about the team that you're trying to compete with. Teams like City, who are literally their left back, right back, Cancelo is scoring more goals than your you lot's players in third or fourth. That's bad for a team like that. So I digress. Did he convince me? Well, yeah, he's Cristiano Ronaldo. He backed goals. That's just literally it. He's outdoing his XG, but at the same time, I feel like he wasn't a necessary signing to be done, especially for the long run and what was being built by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So at the end of the day, I do feel like it's such a sad situation, but I'm happy that he's obviously, it's not yet confirmed yet, but if he does stay at United and if Tegag does find a way to make him work in this team and allow him to score goals and work around a way to find him to score more goals, I mean, I'm all in for that, to be honest. I'm all. I hope this doesn't come too biased, to be honest. But yeah. So this has been a banger. I hope you guys enjoyed. Obviously, I've been your boy